Have you ever wished to be unbreakable? Someone who simply doesn't care about criticism, rejection, loss, or betrayal? Have you dreamt of the day when that silent pain, that agony that gnaws at you, even when you pretend to be fine on the outside, will finally end? Perhaps you're tired of trying to please everyone, of maintaining a constantly power-requiring image. Yet all you ever wanted was a momentary rest from the pressure of being invulnerable. But let me tell you something that perhaps no one dares to say. As long as you try to avoid pain, it will continue to control you. Jung said, everything that we flee from becomes a burden in the unconscious. As long as you try to numb yourself, protect yourself, or hide, you will remain a prisoner of everything happening around you. This is why we are here. If you are tired of every criticism, every rejection hurting you, this video is a turning point for you. Because in a moment, you will learn the shocking truth Carl Jung told you. True power is given not by the walls you build, but by the path of inner discovery you walk. Once you walk this path, you will attain that emotional freedom where no external voice, no external action can fundamentally shake you. This is not just a video. It's the start of a journey where no one will ever break you again. Don't miss a single second. One of the greatest names in depth psychology, Carl Jung, says, "We are not what happened to us. We are what we choose to become." This is the key. The point is not to build a shield or to be cold or indifferent. The point is to integrate, to bring everything that is currently influencing you in the dark into the light. In this process of integration, Jung points to two core concepts. First, the persona, the well-intentioned but artificial mask we wear to fit into society. Second, the shadow, the suppressed, unacknowledged, and unseen aspects of ourself, hidden in the dark. Pain arises from the dissonance between these two concepts. To maintain the constantly demanding image of the persona that you show to the outside, you constantly suppress your true needs and fears, shadow inside. True power is not the absence of pain, but the full consciousness of who you are, even while bleeding. Let's take a closer look at these truths. You believe that what hurts you is external, the actions of others, the betrayals you've experienced, but the truth is brutal. None of these things have the power to hurt you unless there is already an open wound inside. What hurts you is not what others do to you, but the old story that these experiences activate within you. Jung shows that the pain we feel towards the outside world is a reflection of what has not yet been integrated in our inner world. Here is an uncomfortable fact. You are still suffering so much because on some level you believe you can control how the world should treat you. Control is an illusion. Do you want to stop suffering? Then stop trying to protect yourself from suffering. What you need is not more control but more awareness. Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. The moment you understand that everything external only has power, if it finds an echo inside you, your freedom begins. The real battlefield is here, the unconscious and our shadow. The biggest lie you've been told is that you are in control of your life. Carl Jung stated this clearly. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. This is exactly what is happening to you right now. The pain you feel, the sudden bursts of anger, these are not random. They are messages coming from the forgotten, ignored, suppressed shadow parts within you. Why do certain words devastate you? Because those words touch still living sensitive points inside you. You have just been sweeping them under the psychological rug. Jung states in another important quote, "We cannot change anything unless we accept it. Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses. Yet you judge yourself, you suppress yourself. Ignoring the unconscious does not destroy it. It just finds more dangerous ways to manifest itself. Repeating toxic relationships, self-sabotaging patterns you cannot break. Do you want to become someone who is no longer easily hurt? Then stop running away from what is inside you, because the more you try to protect yourself from external pain, the more vulnerable you become to inner pain. But there is a way out, and that is not to defend yourself, but to integrate yourself. Because being unbreakable is not an act of resistance, but an act of deep knowing. Now, let's see what being someone no one will ever break means, according to Jung. If this content makes sense to you, click the subscribe button now and support the channel. Thank you for your support. Most people believe the only way to avoid being hurt is to shut down. They build walls, create masks, persona, and claim that nothing affects them. But they continue to bleed internally, because the problem is not knowing what you feel and why you feel it. Jung said, "Know all the theories, master all the techniques, but as you touch a human soul, be just another human soul. Your soul, which you hide behind that strong, invulnerable character, is screaming to be seen." Being emotionally strong is not about being cold. It's about integration, acceptance, and bringing your buried shadow into the light. You do not become unbreakable by building a barrier between yourself and the world. You become unbreakable because you realize that no one can touch what is already embraced within you. When you integrate your shadows, your fears, your insecurities, you stop reacting to everything you observe. You choose. This is true freedom. A prime example of this is Oprah Winfrey. Oprah embraced and revealed the traumas and abuse she experienced in childhood and the shame, the dark sides of the shadow she carried in her youth. Instead of maintaining the perfect image of her persona, she became a leader who confronted those deep wounds rather than running from them. This is the individuation process Jung spoke of, the process of becoming who you truly are by dissolving the persona and accepting the shadow. You don't need to be a better person, you just need to be whole. This path requires courage, because the key to transformation is hidden right inside the pain. So how does pain stop being an enemy and become a tool? Jung looked at pain in a completely different way. He believed pain was the messenger of the soul, the alarm of the unconscious. In his famous quote, he says, "Depression is like a woman in black. If she turns up, don't push her away. Sit her down, offer her a coffee, and listen to what she has to say." Thus, according to Jung, pain is in order to stop. It shows us the war within us. There is a part within you that wants to grow, and a part that wants to keep everything the same. Pain is born precisely at this point of friction. And right in this area of destruction, something new can be born. When pain reveals your vulnerability, you can finally see who you truly are, without the layers of protection. Pain becomes sacred because it makes you bow before the only thing that can truly set you free: yourself. Another powerful example of this integration path is Steve Jobs. Being fired from Apple was a great pain and an ego destruction for Jobs. However, this destruction forced him out of the protection of his persona and compelled him to reconnect with his creative genius, the potential energy of the shadow. Jobs described that period as the most creative period of my life. Accepting failure led him to a new wholeness. Jung understood that pain is not a system failure, but part of the process. Pain is not the end of the road, but the beginning of the journey towards individuation. If you have come this far, you are ready to pass through. The path of individuation does not promise comfort. It does not protect your ego. It destroys it. According to Jung, this process requires dissolving the persona. Your successes, your traumas, or your external image are not you. These were just things you created to survive. In this process, you reach a state where no one will ever break you. Not because nothing affects you anymore, but because you have already been through the fire. You have accepted your shadows. This inner clarity gives you power independent of external validation. True emotional armor is not a shell, but a core. This brings us to the final point, consciousness as the shield. Because what protects you is not strength, but clarity. Now something very clear must be said. If you are not conscious of what is inside you, absolutely nothing external can protect you from pain. Carl Jung said, "What you resist persists. What you accept transforms." True emotional immunity is not hardness, but expanding your awareness. Because once you understand your wounds and your shadow, the actions of others lose the power to destroy you. You will still feel, but you will not drown. You will still suffer, but you will not lose yourself. And that changes everything. What protects you is not being protected from life, but diving deeply into it. Those who live on the surface are hurt by every wave. Those who dive deep know that below there is silence, stability, and power, and you are going there. If this video has touched you in some way, If something has awakened inside you, write this in the comments right now. I choose awareness. Let's start a human movement of people who no longer want to survive by pretending to be strong, but who want to live with truth. Remember, the next video is also part of this journey. Real transformation begins when you don't stop at the first step. It's important that you continue. See you in the next video. Stay with love.